Every morning, in every city across the globe, a trillion alarms go off at once. You reach out, your eyes still heavy with sleep, and hit the snooze button. You don't think about it, you just do it. You don't weigh the pros and cons of 5 more minutes of rest versus the productivity of an early start. You just do it. This is the power of habit, the invisible architecture of our daily lives. Most of the choices we make each day may feel like the products of well-considered decision-making, but they're not. They're habits, invisible patterns that rule our world. And though each habit means relatively little on its own, over time, the routines we follow define the very fabric of our lives. They determine our health, our wealth, and our happiness. The meals we order, what we say to our kids each night, whether we save or spend, these patterns have enormous impacts on our productivity and financial security. Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Charles Duhigg, in his seminal work The Power of Habit, takes us to the edge of scientific discoveries that explain why habits exist and how they can be changed. Habits emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save effort. At the center of your skull is a golf ball-sized lump of tissue called the basal ganglia. This primitive structure is where habits are stored. It allows your brain to ramp down, letting the body go into automatic mode, while the mind focuses on more complex tasks. This effort-saving instinct is a huge advantage. It frees up mental space. But if we don't understand the loop, we are at the mercy of routines we never chose. Every habit follows a simple 3-step loop. Understanding this loop is the first step toward taking control of your behavior. It consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. First, there is a cue, a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. It could be a location, a time of day, or an emotional state, or even the company of certain people. Then there is the routine, which can be physical, mental, or emotional. It is the behavior itself, the action you take in response to the trigger. This is the part we often want to change. Finally, there is a reward. This is the positive reinforcement that helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. It provides satisfaction. But the loop alone isn't enough. What actually drives the loop is craving. It's the neurological anticipation of the reward that turns a behavior into an automatic habit. Once that craving takes root, the brain begins to anticipate the reward before the routine even starts. This is why habits are so difficult to break. The brain is already winning before the action. In laboratories at the University of Cambridge, researchers studied a rhesus monkey named Julio. They taught him that whenever a shape appeared on a screen, he could pull a lever for a drop of juice. At first, Julio's brain only spiked with pleasure when the juice arrived. But over time, his brain changed. He began to spike the moment the shape appeared, anticipating the reward. Consider the story of Pepsodent. In the early 1900s, brushing teeth wasn't a national habit. Then came Claude Hopkins. He didn't just sell toothpaste, he sold a cue. Hopkins emphasized the cloudy film on teeth that everyone can feel. It was the perfect trigger. But the real secret was the reward, the cool, minty tingle of citric acid. People began to crave that tingle. If they didn't feel it, they felt like their teeth weren't clean. Hopkins had created a craving that fueled a global habit of dental hygiene. Procter & Gamble almost failed with Febreze until they realized they were missing the reward. They shifted their marketing from eliminating smells to the reward of a clean-smelling room. This leads us to the golden rule of habit change. You can't extinguish a bad habit, you can only change it. You must keep the cue and the reward, but insert a new routine. If the cue and reward stay the same, the shift is possible. This is how legendary coach Tony Dungy transformed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He didn't teach new skills, he changed their habits. Dungy wanted his players to react automatically. He used the golden rule to ensure that same cues led to better, faster routines on the field. Discipline became an automatic response. Some habits matter more than others. These are keystone habits. They have the power to start a chain reaction, changing other habits as they move through a person's life. For instance, when people start exercising, they often start eating better and becoming more productive at work. Exercise is a keystone habit that shifts our internal sense of self. Paul O'Neill transformed Alcoa by focusing on a single keystone habit: worker safety. By prioritizing safety above all else, he forced a culture of excellence that improved every metric. The focus on safety forced the organization to communicate and innovate in new ways. Profits skyrocketed because the keystone habit created a ripple effect of discipline and quality. Starbucks turned willpower into a habit. They realized that self-discipline is like a muscle that can be strengthened through repetitive practice. They teach their baristas to handle stress automatically. They taught employees the LATTE routine: listen, acknowledge, take action, thank, and explain. This turned high-stress inflection points into automatic, professional responses. This training turned willpower from a limited resource into an automatic habit. Employees became more effective, and the company became a global powerhouse of reliability. Retailers like Target use your habits to predict your future. By analyzing massive amounts of data, they can identify patterns you don't even see in your own life. They detect major life changes, like pregnancy, before the family knows. By identifying those cues, they can influence your habits and capture you as a lifelong customer. A crisis is a powerful opportunity for habit change. In the wake of a disaster, organizational routines that were previously frozen become malleable. Wise leaders use this window. During a crisis, you can rewrite the rules and establish new, healthier habits that would have been impossible during times of peace. Urgency creates the catalyst for redesign. Habits aren't just individual, they are social. The success of the Montgomery bus boycott was built on the foundation of social habits, the ties of friendship and shared identity. The weak ties of a community that shared a collective identity created a collective habit of resistance. Social habits are what move the world and create lasting change. The case of H.M. proved that habits and memories are stored in different places. He could learn new tasks through repetition, even with no conscious memory of doing them. H.M.'s story reveals a deep truth. Our habits are biological commands, neurologically distinct from our thoughts. To change, we must work with the biology of the brain. To redesign your life, follow this four-step system. First, identify the routine. What is the exact behavior you want to replace? Be granular and specific in your analysis. Second, experiment with rewards. Is it the cookie you want, or just a break? By varying the reward, you isolate the true craving that drives the loop. Knowledge is power. Third, isolate the cue. Is it a location, a time, or a feeling? Most cues fall into 5 categories. Find your trigger and you find the key to the habit. Finally, have a plan. Write down exactly what you will do when the cue hits. A specific plan turns an intention into an automatic response. Design your success. But there's one final ingredient: belief. To change a habit permanently, you must believe that change is possible. This belief is often forged within a supportive community. When we join with others who share our goals, the impossible becomes inevitable. Community strengthens the belief that change is permanent. We are stronger together. Habits are the building blocks of a life. By intentionally designing your loops, you are choosing your future identity. Wealth, health, and mastery are the natural results. Mastery isn't an accident. It's the result of routines designed with purpose. You are the architect of your mind. Build the habits that lead to the life you deserve. The discovery of the habit loop reveals a basic truth. When you understand that a habit can be broken down into its parts, you gain the power to rebuild it. The choice is yours. Habits aren't destiny. They can be ignored, changed, or replaced. You have the tools, you have the science. Now, you have the power to redesign your behavior. Begin today. Mastering your habits is the key to mastering your life. Every loop is an opportunity. Every routine is a choice. You are no longer a passenger in your own mind. You are the pilot. Wealth, health, and happiness are the outcomes of intentional design. This is the science of success. This is the power of habit. If you're ready to master your routines and unlock your full potential, subscribe to Wealth Entertainment 21. We dive deep into the psychology of success and financial mastery. Join us.